Hello, this is the second audio podcast in which we will particularly focus on the first phase of revolutionary activities from 1907 to 1917. When we consider the Indian national movement, we find that it was largely non-violent, but there was also a stand of revolutionary movement, even though not big one, which was to be seen in the early decades of 20th century. The revolutionary questioned the non-violent approach of the Congress. They believed that only violent methods would derive the British from the country. The activity of the revolutionary heroisms started as a byproduct of the growth of militant nationalism. The first phase acquired a more activist form as a fallout of the Swadeshi and boycott movement and continued till 1917. The second phase started as a fallout of non-cooperation movement. Why the surge of revolutionary activities? After the decline of open movement, the Yugantar nationalists who had participated in the movement found it impossible to leave off and disappear into the background. They looked for avenue to give expressions to their patriotic energies, but were disillusioned by the failure of the leadership. Even the extremists to find new forms of struggle to bring into practice a new militant trends. The extremist leader, although they called upon the youth to make sacrifices, failed to create an effective organization or find a new form of political work to tap these revolutionaries. The youth finding all avenues of peaceful political protest closed to them under government repression, though that if nationalist goal of independence were to be met, the British must be expelled physically by force. The revolutionary program. The revolutionaries considered but did not find it practical at the stage to implement the option of creating a violent mass revolutions throughout the country or of trying to subvert the loyalties of the army. Instead, they opted to follow in the footsteps of the Russian nihilist or the Irish nationalist. This methodology involved individual heroic actions such as organization, assassination of unpopular officials, or of traitors and informers among the revolutionaries themselves, conducting Swadeshi dacoits to raise funds for revolutionary activity, and during the First World War, organizing military conspiracies with an expectation of help from the enemy of Britain. The idea was to strike terror in the heart of the ruler, arouse popular people, and remove the fear of authority from their minds. The revolutionaries intended to inspire the people by appealing to their patriotism, especially the idealistic youth who would finally drive the British out. The extremist leader failed to ideologically counter the revolutionaries as they did not highlight the difference between a revolution based on activity of the masses and one based on individual violent activity, thus allowing the individualistic violent activities to take root. A survey of revolutionary activities. A brief survey of revolutionary activities in different parts of India and abroad before the and during the First World War is such as in Bengal by the 1870s, Calcutta's student community was honeycombed with secret societies, but these were not very active. The first revolutionary group was organized in 1902 in Midnapur under Jatindranath Basu, and in Calcutta, the Anusilan Samiti. The founding member of the Anusilan Samiti called themselves Pramutha Mitra. They include Jatindranath Banerjee, Parindra Kumar Ghosh, and others. But their activities were limited to giving physical or moral training to the members and remained insignificant till 1907 and 8. In April 1906, an inner circle within Anusilan, Barindra Kumar Ghosh, Bhupendranath Datta started a weekly Yugantar and conducted a few abortive actions. By 1905 and 06, several newspapers had started advocating revolutionary violence. For instance, after severe police brutalities on participation of Barisal Conference in April 1906, the Yugantar wrote, "The remedy lies with the people. The 30 crore people inhabiting India must raise their 60 crore hands to stop the curse of oppression. Force must be stopped by force." Ras Bihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal had organized a secret society covering far-flung area of Punjab, Delhi and the United Province, while some others like Hemchandra Kanungo went abroad for military and political training. In 1907, an abortive attempt was made by Yugantar Group on the life of a very unpopular British official, Sri Fuller, the first lieutenant governor of the new province of Eastern Bengal and Assam, although he had resigned from the post on August 20, 1906. In December 1907, there were attempted to derail the train on which the lieutenant governor Sri Andrew Fraser was traveling. 1908, Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose threw a bomb at a carriage supposed to be carrying a particularly sadistic white judge, Kingsford in Muzaffarpur. Kingsford was not in carriage. Unfortunately, two British ladies instead got killed. Prafulla Chaki shot himself dead, while Khudiram Bose was tried and hanged. The whole Australian group was arrested, including the Ghosh brothers, Aurobindo and Barindra, who were tried to Alipur conspiracy case, various called Manikota bomb conspiracy, Manikotla bomb conspiracy. The Ghosh brothers were charged with conspiracy and waging war against the king, the equivalent of high treason and punishable with death by hanging. Chittaranjan Das defended Aurobindo. Aurobindo was acquitted of all charges, with the judge condemning the flimsy nature of the evidence against him. Barindra Ghosh, a head of the secret society revolutionaries, and Ullas Kardat, as a maker of the bomb, were given the death penalty, which was later commuted to life in prison. During the trial, Narendra Goswami, who had turned approver and crowned witnesses, was shot dead by two co-accused, Satyendranath Bose and Kaninal Dutt in jail. In February 1909, the public prosecutor was shot dead in Calcutta, and in February 1910, a deputy superintendent of police met the same fate while leaving the Calcutta High Court. In 1908, Baraha dacoity was organized by Dhaka Anusilan under Pulin Das to raise fund for revolutionary activities. Ras Bihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal staged the spectacular bomb attack on Viceroy Harding while he was making his official entry into the new capital of Delhi in a procession through Chandni Chowk in December 1912. Harding was injured but not killed. Investigations following the assassination attempt led to the Delhi conspiracy trial. At the end of the trial, Basant Kumar Viswas, Amir Chand and Awadh Bihari were convicted and executed for their role in conspiracy. Ras Bihari was known as a person behind the plan, but he evaded arrest because it is said that he escaped donning a disguise. The Western Anusilan Samiti found a good leader in Jatindranath Mukherjee or Bagha Jatin and emerged as a Jugantar. Jatin revitalized link between the central organization in Calcutta and in other places in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. During the First World War, the Jugantar Party arranged to import German arms and ammunition through sympathizers and revolutionaries abroad. Jatin asked Ras Bihari Bose to take charge of Upper India, aiming to bring about an all India insurrection in what has came to be called the German plot or Zimmerian plan. The Jugantar Party raised funds through a service of dacoits, which came to be known as taxicab dacoit or board dacoities, so as to work out the Indo-German conspiracy. It was planned that a guerrilla force would be organized to start an upsurging in the country, with the seizure of Fort William and a mutiny by armed force. Unfortunately for the revolutionaries, the plot was leaked out by a traitor. Police came to know that Bagha Jatin was in Balasore waiting for the delivery of German arms. Jatin and his associates were located by the police. There was a gunfight as a result of which the revolutionaries were either killed and arrested. The German plot thus failed. Jatin Mukherjee was shot and died as a hero's death in Balasore on Odisha coast in September 1915. "We shall die to awaken the nation," was a call of Bagha Jatin. The newspaper and journals advocating revolutionary activities including Sandhya and Yugantar in Bengal and Kal in Maharashtra. In the end, revolutionary activities emerged as the most substantial legacy of Swadeshi Bengal, which had an impact on educated youth for a generation or more. But an overemphasis on Hindu religion kept the Muslim aloof. Moreover, it encouraged quixotic heroism. No involvement of the masses was envisaged, which, coupled with the narrow upper caste social base of the movement in Bengal, severely limited the scope of the revolutionary activities. In the end, it failed to withstand the weight of the state repression. Now, the revolutionary activities in Maharashtra. The first phase of revolutionary activity in Maharashtra was organization of the Ramosi Peasant Force by Vasudev Balwant Phadke in 1879, which aimed to rid the country of the British by instigating an armed revolt by disturbing the communication lines. It hoped to raise funds for its activities through dacoities. It was suppressed permanently. It was suppressed prematurely. During 1819, Tilak propagated a spirit of militant nationalism, including the use of violence through Ganpati and Shivaji festivals and in his journal Kesari in Maratha. Two of his disciples, the Chapekar brother Damodar and Bal Krishna, murdered the plague commissioner of Pune, Rand, and one lieutenant arrest in 1897. Savarkar and his brother organized Mitra Mila, a secret society in 1899, which merged with Abhinav Bharat after Mazzini's Young Italy in 1904. Soon Nasik, Pune, and Bombay emerged as a center of bomb manufacture. In 1909, E.M.T. Jackson, the collector of Nasik, who was also well-known Indologist, was killed by Anant Lakshman Kanhari, a member of Abhinav Bharat. It was found that the killing was part of a conspiracy to overthrow the British government in India by means of armed revolution. 38 people were arrested. Among these, it was found that Savarkar, with his two brothers, was a brain, leader, and the moving spirit of the conspiracy. At the trial, Savarkar was a soul over a At the trial, Savarkar, as a sole inspiration and moving spirit of the conspiracy extending over number of years, was sentenced to transportation for life and for forfeiture of all his property. Now, the revolutionary activities in Punjab. The Punjab extremism was fueled by the issues such as frequent famine coupled with the rise in land revenue and irrigation tax, practice of begar by Jamidas, and by the event in Bengal. Among those actives here were Lala Lajpat Rai, who brought out Punjabis with its motto of self-help by any cost, and Ajit Singh, who was Bhagat Singh's uncle, who organized the extremist organization Anjuman-e Mohsiban-e-Watan in Lahore with its journal Bharat Mata. Before Ajit Singh's group turned to extremism, it was active in urging non-payment of revenue and water rates among Chenab colonists and Bari Doab's peasant. Other leaders include Aga Haider, Sayyid Haider Raza, Bhai Premanand, and radical Urdu poet Lal Chand Falak. Extremism in Punjab died down quickly after the government struck in May 1907 with a ban on political meetings and the deportation of Lala Lajpat Rai and Ajit Singh. After this, Ajit Singh and a few other associates, Sufi Amba Prasad, Lal Chand Bhai Paramanand Lala Hardyal, developed into full-scale revolutionaries. During the First World War, Ras Bihari Bose was involved as one of the leading figures of Ghadar Revolution. At the close of 1913, Bose met Jatin to discuss the possibilities of an all-India armed rising of 1857 type. Then he worked in cooperation with Baga Jatin, extending the Bengal plan to Punjab and in upper provinces, as a plan for revolution did not succeed. Raj Bihari Bose escaped to Japan in 1915. Much later, he was to play an important part in the founding of Indian National Army. Along with the revolutionary activities in India, there were revolutionary activities out of India, that is in abroad. Now let us look on to them. We need for shelter the possibility of bringing our out revolutionaries literature that would be immune from the press act and the quest from armed took Indian revolutionaries abroad. Shyamji Krishna Varma founded the Indian Home Rule Society in 1905 in London. In the same year, he set up the Indian Houses in London as a hostel for Indian students. He established a scholarship scheme to bring radical youth from the India. India House became a center of Indian revolutionaries thinkers in London. Krishna Varma published the journal The Indian Sociologist. Revolutionaries such as Savarkar and Hardyal became the member of India House. Krishna Varma left London for Paris to avoid arrest by the British authorities and later went to Geneva, where he once began to publish The Indian Sociologist. Madan Lal Dhingra from his circle assassinated the Indian officer bureaucrat Curzon's Willie in 1909. Soon London became too dangerous for revolutionaries, particularly after Savarkar has been extradited in 1910 and transported for the life in the Nazi conspiracy case. New center emerged on the continent, Paris and Geneva, from where Madame Bhikaji Kama, a Paris revolutionary who had developed contact with French socialists and who brought out Bandi Mataram and Ajit Singh operated. And after 1909, when Anglo-German relations deteriorated, Virendra Chattopadhyay chose Berlin as his base. In Ghadar, the Ghadar Party was a revolutionary group organized around a weekly newspaper, The Ghadar, with its headquarters at the San Francisco in USA. The revolutionaries included mainly ex-soldiers and patients who had migrated from Punjab to USA and Canada in search of better employment opportunities. They were based in US and Canadian cities along the western Pacific coast. Pre-Ghadar revolutionary activity had been carrying on by Ramdas Puri, G.D. Kumar, Taraknath Das, Sohan Singh Bhakuna, and Lala Hardyal, who reached there in 1911. To carry out revolutionary activity, the earlier activity had set up a Swadesh Sevak home at Vancouver in the United India House at Seattle. Finally, in 1930, a Ghadar was established. The Ghadar program was to organize the assassination of officials, publish revolutionaries and anti-imperialist literature, work among Indian troops, station abroad, procure arms, and bring about a stimulus revolt in all the British colonies. The moving spirit behind the Ghadar party was Lala Hardyal, Ramchandra, Bhagwan Singh, Khattar Singh Sarba, Bakarutullah, and Bhai Premanand. The Ghadarites intended to bring about a revolt in India. Their plans were encouraged by two events in 1914, the Kamagatu Maru incident and the outbreak of the First World War. Now, what was the Kamagata Maru incident? The importance of this event lies in the fact that it created an explosive situation in Punjab. Kamagatu Maru was the name of a ship which was carrying 370 passengers. Mainly Sikh and Punjabi Muslims would be migrated from Singapore to Vancouver. They were turned back by the Canadian authorities after 2 months of privation and uncertainty. It was generally believed that the Canadian authorities were influenced by the British government. The ship finally anchored at Calcutta in September 1914. The inmates refused to board the Punjab bound train. In the sensing conflict with the police at Bhuj near Calcutta, 20 persons died. Inflamed by this, with the outbreak of the First World War, the Ghadar leaders decided to launch a violent attack to oust the British rule in India. They urged fight to go to India. Kattar Singh Sarba, Raghubar Dayal Gupta left it for India. Bengal revolutionaries was contacted. Ras Bihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal were asked to lead the movement. Political dacoities were committed to raise funds. The Punjab political dacoities from January to February 1915 had a somewhat new social contact. In at least 3 out of the 5 main cases, the raiders targeted by the money lenders and debt records before the camping with the cash. Thus, an explosive situation was created in Punjab. The Ghadarites fixed February 21, 1915 as a date for an armed revolt in Firozpur, Lahore, and Rawalpindi garrison. The plan was foiled at the last moment due to treachery. The authorities took immediate actions aided by the Defence of India Rule 1915. Rebellious regiments were disbanded, leaders arrested and deported, and 45 of them hanged. Ras Bihari Bose fled to Japan, from where he and Ambani Mukherjee made many efforts to send arms, while Sachil Sanyal was transported for life. The British met the wartime threat with a formidable battery to repressive measures, the most intensive since 1857, and above all, the Defence of India Act passed in March 1915, primarily to smash the Ghadar movement. There were large scale detentions without trial, especially court giving extremely severe sentences, and numerous court martials of army men. Apart from the Bengal revolutionaries and the Punjab Ghadarites, radical pan Islamic Ali brothers, Maulana Azad, Hasrat Mohani were interned for years. Evolution of Ghadar. The achievement of the Ghadar movement lays in the realm of the ideology. It preached militant nationalisms with completely secular approach, but politically and militarily it failed to achieve much because it lacked an organized and sustained leadership, underestimated the extent of preparations required at every level: organizational, ideological, financial, and tactical strategy. And perhaps Lala Hardyal was unsuited for the job of an organizer. Now, revolutionaries in Europe. The Berlin Committee for Indian Independence was established in 1915 by Virendranath Chattopadhyay, Bhupendranath Datta, and Lala Hardyal and others, with the help of German foreign officials under the Cimmerian Plan. These revolutionaries aimed to mobilize the Indians settled abroad to send volunteers arms to the incite rebellions among Indian troops. There and even organized an armed invasions by the British India to liberate the country. The Indian revolutionaries in Europe sent missions to Baghdad, Persia, Turkey, and Kabul to work among Indian troops and Indian prisoners of war, and to incite anti British feelings among the people of these countries. One mission under Lala Raja Mahindra Pratap Singh, Barkatullah Abuddin Shindi went to Kabul to organize a provincial Indian government. There, with the help of Crown Prince Amanullah. Mutiny in Singapore. Among the scattered mutineers during this period, the most notable was in Singapore, February 1995, by the Punjab Muslims, 5th Light Infantry and the 36th Sikh Battalion under Jamadar Chisti Khan, Jamadar Abdul Ghani, and Shubedar Doob Khan. It was crushed after a fresh fierce battles in which many were killed. Later, 37 persons were executed and 41 transported for life. Decline. There was a temporary respite in revolutionary activity after the First World War because the release of prisoners held under the Defense of India rule cooled down passions at a bit. There was an atmosphere of conciliations after Montague's August 1917 statement and the talk of constitutional reforms, and the coming of Gandhi on the scene with the program of non-violent non-cooperation promised new hope. Now we just need to summarize what we have seen till now. Reason for emergence of revolutionary activities. Yugantar element not ready to retreat after the decline of open phases. Leadership failures to tap revolutionary energies for the youth. Government repression left no peaceful avenue open for protest. Ideology. Assassinated unpopular officials, thus strike terror in the heart of the rulers and arouses people to expel the British with force. Based on the individual heroic actions on the line of Irish nationalist or Russian nihilist and not a mass based countrywide struggle. Revolutionaries activities by region. Bengal 1902. First revolutionary group in Midnapur and Calcutta, the Anusilan Samiti. 1906 Yugantar, the revolutionary weekly started. By 1905 and 6, several newspapers started advocating revolutionary terrorism. 1907 attempt on life of the former Lieutenant Governor of the East Bengal and Assam. 1908 Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose attempted to murder Muzaffarpur magistrate Kingsford. Alipur conspiracy case involving Aurobindo Ghosh, Barindra Ghosh and others. 1908 Buran dacoity by Dhaka Anusilan. 1912 bomb thrown at Viceroy's Harding by Rasbihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal. Sandhya Yugantar newspapers advocating revolutionary activity. Jatin Das and Yugantar, the German plot during World War I. In Maharashtra in 1879, Ramosi peasant force by Vasudev Balwant Phadke. In 1890s, Tilak's attempt to propagate militancy among the youth through Shivaji and Ganpati festivals, and his general Kesari in Maratha. In 1897, Chapekar brothers killed Rand and the police commissioner of Pune and Lieutenant arrest. In 1899, Mitra Mila, a secret society organized by Savarkar and his brother. In 1904, Mitra Mila merged with Abhinav Bharat. In 1909, district magistrate of Nasik, Jackson were killed. Punjab. Revolutionary activities by Lala Lajpat Rai, Ajit Singh, Aga Haider Sayyed, Raza Khan, Bhai Premanand, Lalchand Falak, Sufi, Amba Prasad. Revolutionary activities abroad. Shama Krishna Varma set up an Indian house, home rule society and Indian houses, and bring out the journals The Indian Sociologist in London 1905. Madan Lal Dhingra murders Curzon Valley. Madame Bhikaji Kama operated from Paris and Geneva and bring out journals Bandi Matram in 1909. Ajit Singh also active. Berlin Committee for Indian Independence established by Virendranath Chattopadhyay and others in 1915. Mission sent at Baghdad, Persia, Turkey and Kabul. In North America, the Ghadar organized by Lada Hardyal, Ramchandra Bhawan Singh, Kartar Singh Sarba, Barkatullah Bhai Premanand. The Ghadar program. Assassinated officials, publish revolutionary literature, work among Indian troops abroad and raise funds, bring about a stimulus revolt in all colonies of Britain, attempt to bring about an armed revolt in India. 1915 amidst favorable conditions created by the outbreak of First World War on the Kamagata Maru incident. Plan foiled due to treachery. The Defense of India Act 1915 was passed primarily to deal with the Ghadartis. So this was all about in the today's podcast. In the very next podcast, we will look on to the First World War and the nationalist response. Thank you for hearing. Have a great day.